This is a stimulus update and daily news report. I got some big update to share with you. President Biden signs off on that $40 billion Ukraine bill as he's on his Asia tour. I'll give you the arrival time for those $250 checks, and the governor has just proposed new $500 checks, and one senator is still holding on and pushing for the child tax credit, latest with student loan forgiveness. The $841 payments through SSI, plus a few other important updates as well. But first, the US economy is nowhere near the recession this year, says the economist, but 2023 is a different story. So if you were to type in Google recession, you will see a ton of articles says recession is about to happen. This expert says probably the bigger experts and most economists are saying that because of how long it takes for things to react up, 2023 is when the recession is going to happen, despite all the bear market claims and everything like that. And then as midterms lead, the debate over student loan forgiveness heads up, saying it's like getting punished for being poor. So student loan forgiveness, hot topic, and it's heating up because we're getting closer to the midterm elections. Democrats are the ones who want the student loan forgiveness, and as we get closer, we're going to start to see more pushes, more promises. For example, another promise here from Nancy Pelosi saying that Congress could pass transformational compute tech before July 4th. We've heard Nancy Pelosi say all have a lot of promises out there, such as the Build Back Better, which was going to be done before May 31st. It's currently May 21st. I doubt they're gonna get the Build Back Better done in 10 days. So it looks like a lot of promises are being made but not fully kept. But we're starting to see a lot of other promises and other politicians make the news for both claims because of the midterm elections are coming up. So we're gonna see a lot of things to get votes. So stimulus update, one senator isn't giving up on the boosted child tax credit. So many families are struggling to make ends meet because there's no child tax credit. Despite all the promises that there was going to be a continued child tax credit of that $250 or $300 per month, there's one senator from Colorado saying it should be easier for moms and mother figures to raise their kids, which is why we won't stop fighting to make the expanded child tax credit, which kept nearly 4 million kids out of poverty last year, permanent. We haven't really heard many other Congress members talk about the child tax credit. We hear some things here and there, but if you don't get Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema on board, it's almost not going to happen. So child tax credit, some politicians pushing for it, but it hasn't really gained enough momentum and they're not voting on it as a standalone bill. And then Whitmer proposed $500 rebate checks for Michigan's working families. This just came out, so the governor of Michigan, since there's a surplus, which a lot of states have now, tax revenues to issue $500 rebate checks for working families struggling with inflation. So this is just a proposal, but this is just out of what he said here today. I'm proposing EMI tax rebate right now and plan to send a $500 tax rebate to Michigan to working families right away. So that's just the proposal. And then Social Security supplemental income payments, schedule 2022. Next round of $841 payments to be sent out in just days. So $841 is the maximum you can have. If you're on SSI, doesn't mean you're getting that, and you mostly likely have another amount. Since the average is $621 and the next payment is coming out Wednesday, June 1st. If you're on SSI, it's basically all these articles is talking about here. And then one-time payments of $250 for more than 750,000 Americans will land in bank accounts this week, so more than 500,000 New Mexico taxpayers should expect to receive cash relief from the state soon. So the governor Mitchell Julian Grisham announced that payments from the state's tax rebate program started going out this week. So it's $250 for singles and $500 for couples. So these are the New Mexico stimulus checks starting to hit bank accounts this week. So if you live in New Mexico, check your bank account if you qualify. And then also Biden signed $40 billion for Ukraine assistance during Asia chip. So yeah, he signed that off because it passed the House, passed in the Senate, and now President Biden signed off on it, making it official. Chef President Biden is highlighting the jobs that companies like Samsung or Hyundai will help towards someday will create across the United States, but the goal of this trip is not specific deliverables for the US economy. Mr. Biden has been a feature on the world stage for 5 decades, but he's now focused on forging ties with new leaders like South Korea's president who just took office last week, in Japan's prime minister who have been in office less than a year. Agenda is packed with bilateral meetings in Seoul and Tokyo, press conferences in each country, and the summit with allies who need reassurance the Indo-Pacific is a priority. The Asian allies and others in the region are just constantly seeing us put off on other crises around the world, and they do worry about our staying power, especially after the Trump administration really tested our relations with our allies. There will be no visit to the demilitarized zone on the North Korean border, or the White House noting Biden already traveled there as vice president, and also acknowledging the distinct possibility in their words that North Korea may conduct missile tests during or after the president's visit. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Mr. Biden could speak to China's President Xi Jinping by phone very soon. Experts say with fears Russian invasion could embolden Xi in the Pacific. It's here that face-to-face diplomacy matters most. At home, the president's own party is becoming increasingly frustrated with how things are going. In a new Associated Press poll, just 33% of Democrats say the country is headed in the right direction. That's a 16-point drop in just a month. Those 2 agents were sent home following an off-duty incident after they reportedly visited bars in Seoul. South Korean police told NBC News a man was assaulted outside the Grand Hyatt Hotel in the early morning hours. Those 2 agents have been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. What are your thoughts on President Biden doing his trip around Asia to think that North Korea is going to launch a nuclear missile while he's in the area? Your thoughts on all that? Anyways, that is the only news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all your time and all your support. Don't forget I'm giving out the tour and all the checks. I have details of how you could sign up down in the description below. And if you want to check out my latest Speakable video, if you click up here, I'll see you in the next video.